All right, so welcome everybody. My name's Tony, and we want to thank you all for joining us and being part of this sixth episode of our Jam Compass webinar called The Link. And today we're doing a panel featuring all DJs, and which is awesome to have everyone here. We want to say hi to all the viewers tuning in as well. I'm one of the co-founders of Jam Compass, which is a mobile app that will be in beta within the next month or so, and we're really excited about that. It'll allow creatives and music industry professionals the ability to connect, collaborate, and find opportunities in real time. And while we're in the final stages of development, we wanted to start bringing the community together to discuss where things are headed within the industry. And so on today's episode, we'll be continuing the discussions about music in times of pandemic. And we invited everyone here to give us their take on how it's affecting the industry. Before we get to it, for all the viewers, you can introduce yourself in the chat section. And if you have any questions for the panelists, you could leave it in the Q&A section, and we'll get to that at the end. We're also doing a contest today on the webinar featuring Mixed and Key DJ software, courtesy of our friends at Mixed and Key. So if you want a chance to win the software, just take a screenshot of the webinar and share it in your story and tag Jam Compass. And after the webinar, we will go through and pick a winner, and we'll share it to our social media as well. So I'm going to pass it on to Anthony now, and my partner in Jam Compass, and take it from there.
What's up, guys? Yeah, thanks again for everyone taking the time out. We know the pandemic has been a crazy experience for everybody, so we really appreciate everybody being on the panel today. I'm going to go through to each panelist. We'll kind of just introduce yourselves, and we'll dive in on how everyone's handling this and what everyone's been up to. So we'll start with Konflikt. What's up, brother?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. How's everything with you?
Surprisingly well. I feel great. These 2 months of break, I'm sure a lot of you guys share the same feeling. I realize that travel actually puts a number on your body. And after 2 months of staying at home, I'm like, this feels great. I haven't downloaded much music like you, but I actually, not today, yesterday, I felt the first urge to say, hey, I'm gonna get into this catalog and like start going into my stuff and downloading new stuff and thinking of new ideas. So I think I needed the 2 month break to kind of create some space for creative juices to come back.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was in the shower the other day and I was like, you know what? I need to pick up my laptop and get back in on hit the record pools up again and really just dive back in on that. So, I mean, for me, it's been over 10 years since I've had this type of time. I'm sure the same for you guys, some longer. So it's been good, man, for me as well. Sinatra, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
What's up? What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? I'm just chilling, man. Like I said, this has been a crazy, crazy experience, but it gave me time to reset, and I kind of took it in stride. And like, I've been down in my cellar, where is my studio. So I was down there just digging through records. I would go downstairs and grab like 100 records and come upstairs and then just like go through them all. Then I found a bag of like 345s that fell on the floor, and they were like in the dust and garbage, and I just wiped them all down. Like, I took like a couple of days to do that. And just basically going back to the beginning of when I started DJing, kind of like, so it's like gave me time to like get myself back into it, to be honest, because there was a kind of period towards like the last 2 months, 3 months where I just wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't feeling the music. And I'm a guy who loves new music, and I just wasn't feeling everything. So I was creating music. I was working with my friends doing music. So I would just listen to that. And plus whatever, we would DJ out. But like, I just needed this time to kind of go back to the roots of when I first started making beats. In the same way I would listen to music, and the same way I would get vinyl, and to touch the vinyl makes you feel, like a kid again. It makes you feel like, you first started DJing, and just kind of doing all that. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise for the creative side, but it's obviously tragedy and horribleness for everything in our world. But that's basically it. I just been, trying new things, cooking, gardening, whatever it takes, learning OBS, learning like new stuff. Like, I feel like you mastered, well, not mastered, but you're good at DJing, right? So you're good at that. So now all of a sudden you have this other thing thrown at you that you have to like stream and like stand in front of a TV. And we're going to probably get into all that. But like, this is giving me a time to learn that stuff, or like take time to like, is this really what I like to do? Because it's like, there's a lot of things that go into doing that. It's not the same as what we're doing on a normal basis. But that's it, just safe and just out here,
Yeah, I saw you been cooking it up in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Big.
like, I'm just like, I like cooking. I like gardening. I got my garden in the back in Brooklyn. So it's like, this gives me something to like keep me busy. And now I'm home and I can't leave. It's like not traveling, DJing and not doing all that. It gave me a chance to like focus on my house and get my yard in order and just spending time out there. I put up a whole library there. So maybe I'll stream from the yard.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, bro. I'm glad you do that. I mean, it's dope to like go back in and really kind of take that time and go through those records and maybe you might find a dope sample you could flip and put out a record.
I ran through samples that I flipped in 2003 and 2002, and I'm like, damn, and I find like vinyl and all the records from 98, 99, like stuff that we DJ'd with, and going through those crates that I had with my cousin and finding all like old joints and remembering those moments. That was the main thing, is remembering those moments of when you had that like, old dogs single that you ran a million times at the beginning of the record is burnt out because you played it so much. But like that's the vibe, and like just being able to touch a record and make the sounds on that compared to Serato is no comparison to me.
Hell yeah. All right, dude, let's move on to Evo One. What's up, brother? How are you?
Yo, I'm good. Kind of echoing what everyone else has said too, just like haven't had a break like this in 15 or 20 years. And I also have 2 small kids at home, so getting that extra dad time is such a blessing. Like they've already changed so much in the 11 weeks where I'm like, man, I would have missed this in a blink of an eye. So that's been cool. And then I also have 5 bars and restaurants out in Portland that are still not even in phase 1. So we're shut down. And so just figuring out ways to occupy my time. Started live streaming like maybe 2 weeks into quarantine. At first I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But after a couple of weeks, I was just bored. And, starting out just like in my living room and then like, oh man, I'm going to order a green screen and just like figuring out OBS and just advancing it and pushing it, and kind of like brings out that same energy as a DJ when you're like young and hungry. Like I want to improve and get better at this. So it's been cool in that way for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when is Portland slated to open?
I just got an update from the county today, and we're still probably a couple weeks out. And that'll be like, phase 1 where it's like 50% capacity, people can't dance. So we probably can't have DJs. Like it's going to be definitely a slow reopen. So I don't even know if I'm going to open in phase 1 because it just doesn't make financial sense to have extra staff and not have any customers.
Yeah, I mean, opening at 25% is probably not the best move for every nightclub, really,
Totally. Yeah, I just don't see how it's possible. So
yeah,
it's the waiting game, really.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Let's go to Excel. What's up, brother?
Hey, man. What's happening?
How are you, bro? You've been all over the place. You've been in the woods. You've been hiking. I've been to the beach.
Yeah. I mean, like as everyone said, this is a break that none of us would have taken voluntarily. It's a break that nobody wanted until you had it, and then it was just about making the best of the situation that we had on our lap, right? And I think once everybody was able to sort out their financial situation, whether it was, getting whatever grant, whatever funding, unemployment, whatever, it was really just about making the most of the time, because every day just seems like the same day. And while the roads have been super mellow and you have all this opportunity living out here, like I talked to my parents back on the East Coast and my friends on the East Coast, and the weather's been shit, or it's just it's not the same, so we've been making the most of it. Besides cooking and washing dishes and doing all that other stuff, like I pretty much finished a whole album with a friend of mine back home, like a rap album, just good sample hip hop shit. And I kind of like put my hands on production throughout the years, but never really focused on it because I was just busy playing gigs, traveling, and doing other things. So once this started, it was really about filling this time with things that I've been putting off, And we cut about 10 songs. There's maybe one more song to do, and then I'm going to move forward with putting that out. And still working on clothes, and I started like another clothing project with a friend of mine that we're going to put out like a capsule collection. So, just doing that working on ourselves, trying to stay active, stay positive. I mean, I've pretty much just accepted at the beginning that I wasn't going to work for most of the year, you know? And I think, you know, coming to terms with that and just being okay with that, it was just like, all right, let's fill this time, you know? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, the merch you've been doing is fire.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I'm looking forward to hearing the music too.
Yeah, man. You know, like the merch thing, you know, I've talked about it previously. Is just, you know, I didn't want to do like so direct merch. I wanted to really just push my hand on the, you know, like the clothing label side of things, but do it from a merch perspective. And with that, you know, after just years of having friends that worked in fashion and that was their career, like pulling all the knowledge I can pull from them and just putting these ideas that I've had together, you know, out there and just make them come to life. So moving forward, like the next shirt that I'm working on, you know, now I'm moving into having tags done and just sourcing the best possible material, made in USA type stuff. And these next shirts are like all locally grown cotton from the United States. And, you know, so yeah, I'll make sure you guys all get shirts once I get this new run in. And yeah. So.
Awesome.
It's been
Fashen,
fun.
what's up, brother? Your backdrop is like, I've been like laughing throughout the webinar so far. So I don't think I'm laughing at anybody. It's just, you're just hilarious with this backdrop. How you doing, bro? You've been grinding on the live streams.
Me?
I commend you for that, for sure.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear you call me in. Yeah, man, I've been trying to stay busy. Just, I don't know. Kind of like this whole experience to me has been kind of a, it's almost like reinventing yourself, so to speak, in like a whole nother like area, because you don't know how this is all going to pan out. You don't know, you know, how the clubs are going to reopen. You don't know. Like my first thought when this all went down, it wasn't like, okay, well, when are we going to be out and back to work? It was more or less like, when we are out, how long is it going to take for clubs to reopen and actually bring guys like us back into the circuit? Because like, you know, like Evil One said, you know, opening at 25%, you know, any club that opens at 25%, the last thing they're thinking of is booking a $2,000 DJ to fly across the country to play for 25% capacity nightclub. So it was more or less like, okay, even when everything is open, it could take, you know, exponentially longer for the traveling guys to kind of get back into the circuit again. And, you know, DJing here in LA, you know, I mean, Anthony, Graham, everyone that's in LA, you guys know, I mean, a lot of these places, they already don't have budgets as it is. And they, you know, a lot of us don't really play the LA circuit that much, except for a handful of clubs. And it's like, knowing what we get at some of these clubs, just like, I can't make a living, you know, just DJing in LA. So it was trying to find like that new outlet. And so, you know, I just did my first stream on Twitch yesterday. And it was really fun, but yeah, I've been trying to keep busy. But like my living room, I've turned my living room into like a full-fledged studio, or DJ like setup. It's kind of, and at the same time trying to integrate it where it's like, okay, well, if I have to continue to do this for a long time, like I'm gonna have to live with the fact that I have a DJ table and literally like right in my living room, and because I live in a small apartment, so you know, Sinatra, I know you know.
Me too.
Like,
I got it right here.
Yeah, dude, trust. It's literally like I could put my feet on it from my couch. That's how close it is.
Me too.
But yeah, but that's it, man. Just trying to keep busy there, and then yeah, like I've been going back in. Same with the downloading music. I haven't downloaded new music in almost 2 months, but I mean, even up to this morning, I've been going to bed every day at like 5, 6 a.m. I'm up every night, like downloading all the old albums that I used to have, all the old 80s albums, all the old 90s albums, and putting all these folders together and just rediscovering a lot of music that, like you said, you know, all those old albums that like made me want to DJ to begin with. And it's been amazing. And so like, if anything, I'm coming out of this with the best DJ crates I think I've ever had as a DJ, period.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's what I need to like get organized. I need to like put some focus into that over the next couple of months, because we got some time still.
What's amazing too, like the music, like just thinking about it, I was like, okay, well, should I keep current on music? Should I keep current? And if you think about it, I mean, like, what the hell has come out in the 2 months that we've been down? You know what I mean? Like, there are songs that like were hot in the club. Last night I DJ'd. The last night I DJ'd was March 14th. And I can't think of a single record besides, I think, the Drake song that came out like a week or two later. They came out, and like I'm not hearing about nothing. Yeah. I've forgotten about songs. Someone actually mentioned something to me the other day, and I'm like, oh wow, like literally just 3 months ago that was like the hottest record out, and now it's just like crickets. Like,
well, it seems like they put everything on hold because nobody wants those weak ass numbers because they can't maximize how they promote the shit, right? So like it was like, who's going to put out a record? And Drake put out the record, but then. What he did, it was like his first record that didn't do number one or some shit like that because he got beat by another record or something. So,
it's just so weird. It's just, I don't know, it's just so weird. And then hearing all the DJs playing like all the older records, like in all the streams and things like that, it's been so like refreshing and like it just, I don't know, just good music. I don't know, crazy.
Oh, let's move on to Mr. Graham Funk. What's up, bro?
I'm happy to see all you guys. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Y'all too.
You know.
Yo.
You, brother.
You're looking really handsome, Graham.
I feel handsome.
Like that record crate behind you.
I was looking for like a nice backdrop, but really like my desk is right on the other side of this camera.
It looks nice.
No, you know, I would say my lifestyle hasn't changed in the last few months. Like, still read a lot, watch a lot of movies, drink a lot of coffee, and you know, been making some edits, trying to like, you know what, I feel like over the last 15, 16 years of like the travel DJ work, I've built up like a sleep deficiency. So I'm just like catching up on that, replenishing.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm chill, man.
Have you picked up any new hobbies during this time?
Nope. It's the same routine to me, you know, other than, you know, not traveling and not doing the local stuff, you know, going to the nightclub or whatever. But other than that, nah, I still eat the same foods, you know, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's I mean, it's unfortunate circumstance that, you know, that's what puts us here. But all I did is fall into the routine even more. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Fashion, are you like, I mean, obviously I think we're now seeing a lot of DJs move over to Twitch. I mean, I know people were testing out IG Live, but it just seems like Twitch is the play now.
Yeah.
You've been seeing this a lot?
Well, you know, a few of my friends were there early, like E-Rock, and I mean, people were there way earlier than E-Rock, but like he was one of the first ones that I personally talked to on a regular basis that moved over there like a few weeks ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, and I was kind of cool with just being on IG Live, to be honest with you, just because I was like, you know what, I don't know how much I really, you know, and just like I said a few minutes ago, like I didn't know how much or how far I was gonna have to like take it, and then IG started cracking down, and even like, you know, last week was the last week that I did a IG Live, and you know, I got booted off twice. And when I tried to get back on, you know, they were like, sorry, you know, this account can't get back on at the moment. I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. So, you know, obviously like D-Nice and some of the other guys have had a little better luck. And you know, I even noticed like Vice last week, he got booted off like twice in 12 minutes. And I was like, okay, it's not just, you know, it's not just guys that aren't pulling like bigger numbers. It's, you know, they're really having an issue. And then apparently, their guidelines had even changed with just this more recent update with music. So it just, you know, it's I understand the politics of it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, at what point do you just, you know, come to like a compromise with record labels and DJs and Instagram and like everything else? It's just like things need to move forward, and you know, we're just trying to get through like something, you know, you're trying to make something positive out of a crappy situation. And, you know, they just keep making it crappy. So, yeah, so I made the jump, and I mean, first one was awesome yesterday. It was nice to do a 3-hour set without like worrying about getting dumped.
Yeah.
The D-Nice thing wasn't luck. I don't know if you guys know, but Instagram.
Yeah, it definitely was not luck at all.
Yeah, no. Well, I had
Instagram
heard that
paid for it.
Instagram actually paid for a copyright license, broadcasting license for D-Nice to do
that
his
was
thing.
all like set up for sure. Once I saw that Monday after the weekend when he was doing these crazy numbers, I was like, nah, dude. Like there's just no way, And then watching them play full versions of music that we absolutely know would get flagged, But of course, like that sparked this wave of everybody wanting to get that same traction, and everybody's on the platform anyway, right? So everyone's making this attempt, and it's just part of the machine, man, So
yeah, a lot of the labels I deal with on the marketing side now for my company, and a lot of these companies are very archaic, and the people that run these major music companies are a lot older and don't really care. So
no, they don't care at all, man. We're so insignificant to.
So the thing with Twitch is that you have a better shot of streaming on Twitch because the gamers that I work with and stuff, we've been doing that shit for a few years now, and Twitch is the best platform to monetize these streams, hands down.
I mean, you were telling me this, Anthony, before when we went hiking. You were telling me about Twitch. That was 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working with that stuff since 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
The only issue, of course, is that IG has all the people. So, Impulse had better luck on the Facebook platform, right? And
Same.
you don't want same with Evil, and it's like you don't want to go through all of this effort, even though we have nothing better to do, and not get the most amount of interaction, So it's like Twitch is the best. It's just people are lazy.
It's consistency though. As a streamer, it's really consistency. Like one of my gamers, like right now, he's streaming 8 hours a day. Mind you, he's playing Call of Duty on there.
Crazy. Yeah.
But and then D-Nice, he was DJing for like 9-hour sets and shit. Like So really, it's consistency, with the live streaming, and then that's when you can start to basically come up with this CCV, which is your concurrent viewership. That's when you can start monetizing these streams, start working with brands, so they can start paying you. And I think we're seeing the infancy stages for the music business to now hop onto Twitch. And I've been trying to get these labels and all these companies educated over the last 8 to 12 months. And now it's been awesome to see the music side jumping in on it. But, with IG, I'm hearing things that they're going to try to start monetizing that better. We'll see. But which would be great for, I think, the DJ community right off the jump. But, the tiered subscribers, the tiered memberships on Twitch, I mean, you get 1,000 of those a month. It's good money.
Yeah.
Especially if you're providing educational stuff, and then you turn it into setting up the live stream at your shows, and you it's a weekly thing, and that's where the consistency can build, So I'm hoping that the DJ community could really just be consistent on Twitch until at least these other platforms kind of catch up, which Instagram does a great job at basically stealing whatever's hot and implementing it. So
but what happens when you have 150 DJs at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday?
Just way too crowded, yo.
It's just to me, I don't know. I think it's cool, and I've been researching it, and I've gone live a few times, but I'm not going live every single day. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't like to stand in front of my telephone for 3 hours, and I have this little thing I'm looking at while I'm DJing. It's for me, it's cool, and I'll do it for my friends that want to hang out and just bullshit. But to do it every single day for 4 to 5 hours a day of playing music, I commend whoever does it. I love you
100%.
guys.
Yeah.
But for me, that's just not something that I'm super hype on unless I get the inspiration. Then I need to get a tequila bottle. Then you start doing that 3-4 times a week. Then you
Yeah, you're back where you started before this.
Thing, I'm waking up early these days.
You got a real problem on your hands.
Exactly. So I think it's cool, and I I've been trying to figure it out. And like, it's like learning the MPC all over again, or learning Ableton, or learning Pro Tools. You're learning a new software. Like, I'm having so many problems. Then I run into a camera issues. This camera good. I want 2 cameras. Then I got to get this camera. Then I need a cam link. Then you go online. They don't have the cam link. Then you try. And it's like, I just think you should keep it simple if you're really not a person that knows how to really go too crazy with it. And then you got to make scenes. I'm like, yo, this is so crazy, but it's interesting, and it makes me psych sometimes. But then sometimes I'm just like, yo, one of my cameras is not coming out, or I keep on resetting it, refreshing it. I'm like, yo, I'm losing my inspiration to DJ because I am not really trained at that software program. So it's like, all right, I could learn it, but it's going to take me some time.
Definitely.
Dude, you nailed it. He nailed it though,
Hell
for
yeah.
real. Like, I've dumped some money into this, and I haven't seen any kind of return yet, other than
It's
some
but what
verbal
if you kept yourself
satisfaction.
relevant? What if you kept yourself relevant, Fashion, and then like when the bookings start coming, your schedule's lined up?
Well, yeah,
Like,
and
that's
but you know, and that's the same reason though that I've done like some streams for some clubs, you know, and I know Konflikt's done some. Anthony, I think you've done some as well.
I haven't done one DJs, but that's only because I've only been in my crib and I don't have my setups at the studio with, you know, me and Politics have. So I haven't even been over there, man. I just been.
Yeah, but even then, like some of those, you know, they're just like, hey, you know, like one of the clubs in Atlanta, you know, in like Tongue and Groove, that the first night that I did their stream, I was actually supposed to be there that night. I was scheduled to be there that night, and they're like, well, since we're in quarantine, you still want to do the stream? I'm like, of course, like, why not? And, you know, it's just, you know, when we get out of here, they're going to be like, you know, well, you know, the people that, you know, did our things, we're going to continue to, you know, make sure that they're like good. But again, when is that going to be? You know, same thing, you know, they were telling me, I talk to Danny M like all the time, and he's telling me, you know, that the 31st, when is it? What's today? The 29th? So the 31st, they're allowed to reopen the club in Atlanta. And but it's the same at 25% capacity. And at 25% capacity, he was telling me, you know, they don't even know that they're going to even open the club because they don't want their employees to lose their benefits to come back in and work to make no money. So they say if it just doesn't seem financially right for everyone, there's no point in even reopening.
The club, you know? It doesn't make sense for the club, too. Most importantly, the club itself has got no way of making money at 25%. Too.
Yeah, so it just kind of like, again.
Is there a threshold, Evil One, maybe you know this number, is there a threshold where a club is profitable? I know it obviously varies case to case, but 25% doesn't seem like anyone would be making money.
You need to be at like at least 75%.
Yeah, that's like a restaurant too. You know what I mean? If you're not at 75%, you're not even breaking even, you know?
Yeah. Totally. And yeah, and 75 is probably about a break even because you want to do like 25% margins. So that time when you're really busy and packed, that's when you pad your pockets. So,
and let's not forget that before this even happened, a lot of these clubs that we work at were having these issues before. So imagine now with all these restrictions, a club that was barely getting by, they're a wrap.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be able to make – I mean, how can a club survive with 25%, 50% if they weren't surviving with 75% or barely just making the bills?
Yeah. Right. You're bleeding money to be open, really. That's why, like what Evil was saying, it doesn't even make sense to open at that phase because now you're paying all your staff to be in there, even if you cut your staff back. You know what I mean? Like it's costing you money to be open. It just doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And now here they want us to have more staff too, just to like monitor social distancing and take people's contact info for contract tracing and stuff. So you'd actually have more employees and less people.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
I read an article about QR codes when entering a venue, potentially.
Oh, shit.
So that like you're basically scanned in and then your info's there. And if there is
I'm going to get Joe Maz in the chat. I'll be right back.
Joe come in here and light this whole chat up, yo.
Womp womp.
Okay. So Jared from the Q&A, what do you think is the best way for local DJs to stay relevant that don't have a large online following?
I mean,
currently or after all? I mean,
no, let's not laugh because this is a serious thing. Guys.
I think
it's a joke because we're laughing because we're kind of in the same boat.
Yo, we're all in the same boat. I mean,
So
for
it's
real,
like
this
new or old,
is yeah.
new, medium, or old. You all
Relevant and not relevant. There's a significant amount of time off, and everybody is trying to make. I mean, that's the whole point of live streaming anyway. Is that I want to make sure that my brand and my relationships stay relevant because everyone is so worried about being forgotten about. You know, yeah.
No, I was gonna say I think that with Twitch and stuff now, like you have a better opportunity because I seen on there. Like, even though you're not learning, you're not going to clubs. Okay, so take that as the club. The Twitch is the club. And now you're going on there and you're meeting your other DJ friends. You're connecting with another DJ. You see Fashen on there. You see this. Oh, you hit him up. You're doing the same networking that you're going to do as being in the streets.
Yeah.
But now you just can do it in your house. And you can just, on Twitch, you're going to be able to stream another friend's DJs on your page. And you can connect and become really lit online without even having to go step outside your door.
To add to that, like I've definitely connected with some DJs on these on the streams that I never even knew, like before we were in lockdown. So like now I know and I talk to DJs that I've never seen before, or never been in their markets, and like now we conversate like all the time. And so like I mean, yeah.
But is anybody gonna, once stuff goes back to normal, whatever the new normal is? How many people are going to sit home and watch Twitch as opposed to like having the real thing? Right now it works because
older folks will.
Older folks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and by older, I mean like 30 plus. Like if you have kids,
ones
like,
that don't go out every night.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to wrap my head around this because for me, live streaming to watch it is completely boring. So we're totally not the people that are going for this because we live in this, right? But the average person that might not go to the club that often, or you know, people that really may not affect your life directly.
Nice people that follow him. He has 7,000, 8,000, 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, those folks are probably much older. Maybe they go out once or twice a year. I mean, to be honest with you, I've recently just found out you can buy views. So I don't even know whose views are real anyway.
What?
You can buy like 1,000 views for $40.
Wait,
so
to watch you?
For real?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because I started noticing, you know, just with this whole thing, and like anything, I want to get into like the inner workings of it to understand how it works. Because I saw so many people, including myself, having problems with the live streaming platform. So I started digging into shit, and then I started looking, and I'll jump into live stream just to throw a yo up or whatever, just to see everybody. But then I started noticing weird shit. I would see somebody's numbers go from 1,080 to 80.
Wow.
I'm like, that's weird. How do you lose 1,000 viewers at once? I'm like, you know,
that card got declined.
So then I started looking. Well, no, it's like you buy the views for X amount of time. You buy them for 1 hour or something like that. And then if you Google this shit, you know, you can find it. You can buy 1,000 views for $40. So now you're like, okay, well, I guess it makes sense for me to buy these views because then other people are going to talk. Yo, did you see so-and-so's live stream? He has X amount of people, which is how the D Nice thing happened. People were just jumping in because you're like, yo, this dude has 80,000 people. He has 100,000 people, you know?
People jumped into the D Nice stream because Instagram specifically put that up on everybody's thing. Like if they
sure.
copyright stuff.
Yeah. But the word between us was like, yo, you got to check this out. This dude is at this amount of people. And the same moving forward because now you're looking at somebody like, yo, you got to check this out. This dude has two people on his live stream, you know. Or, you know, or, you know, but I'm saying we've all been there because then, you know, we'll go on and then you're like, yo, I can't believe I only have 20 people. I only have 30 people. Like, you're going to tell me no more than 30 people are checking this out at one time? Like, it feels like you get capped at a certain number, you know? So,
yeah, but you're a slave to the algorithm. It's like,
of course.
They throttle you. Hell yeah.
You know, of course. But when you look at shit happen, you know, or you watch somebody go through a drunken meltdown, and then it's like you're sharing this on to people, and then you're like, yo, these numbers are going up. Like, this is crazy because it's more entertaining. Or, you know, you watch, you know, Impulse has been like, yo, did you see 5 this morning? He was spinning with his shirt off, like he was drunk or whatever. So like, there's something that breaks that number. It's just that on average, just watching a cat play music is boring.
You've seen some funny drunk live streams, that's for sure, from some.
100%. But it's entertaining, and just playing music is not enough unless your core fan base really enjoys watching you play music. So knowing all of those things, I was just like, okay, what has gotten me through since the beginning of my career was that I would always have mixes when I would go to the club, and people would ask for mixes. So recording my live streams made more sense, because past the live stream window, when it's gone, there's a set that I recorded that will live much longer than the live stream would,
Yeah.
And that just made sense to me, because I'm sure we all have done this. At the end of a live stream, you're exhausted, like you're sweaty. You're trying to balance the engagement with people to make sure you're talking so you don't get clipped. Trying to engage people that are in the chat, trying to, play music, make it entertaining playing music. Like it's a lot of work. It's more work than actually being at the club,
Yeah.
It is. It actually is.
Yeah.
Which makes it good practice.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It'll make the club seem easy.
True that.
Yeah, club's cake compared to that.
Yeah. I really don't. I will say that overall, back to the original thing, is that the engagement on social media has been really high because no one has anything else to do. So, I think just keeping your engagement and connecting with people and building your community or tightening the community you already have is what keeps you relevant when this is all said and done, And as far as somebody's asking, is there a good time better for engagement? I think it just depends on you and the people that follow you. Some people have better luck streaming at night. Some people have better luck streaming in the day. It's really trial and error. I mean, it's different for every person that does it,
Yeah, Fashen, you did the headliner Twitch stream. I saw they had really great viewership.
Yeah, it started out at about like 300 or 400 early in the morning, or at about noon when E-Rock was on, and it just the numbers climbed during the whole day, and then by the end of the day, they were up to about 19,000 viewers, wow. And I know that at some point, I want to say it was about 10 o'clock when Miles Medina went on, Twitch actually bumped them to like the main page. And so like when you logged onto Twitch on your computer, like the first thing you see is like they'll showcase or they'll feature certain like accounts that are doing things. And so at 10 o'clock, they made Headliner Music Club the feature. And so anyone that had logged on at that time, the first thing they saw was a Headliner Music Club stream. So at that point too, there weren't a lot of other people in the music part streaming. And so they got a lot of viewers, and it did. I know they got, for the whole day, they got up to 800,000 viewers for the whole day.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really good, really good launch.
That's 800,000 unique viewers, or 8,000 times someone popped in to watch?
No, unique viewers for the whole day. It was from noon until 2 a.m.
Yeah, just like Instagram, they have their algorithm that they.
How many people are on Twitch?
A lot.
Millions and millions and millions and millions.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know. Anthony would know that better than me.
Yeah, there's a ton. There's like 40 million users, I think. I'm not. Don't quote me on it, but I know that it's a 81.5% male dominated audience on Twitch currently.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that's based off the gaming world. Now that the music business is starting to jump on it. I'm sure like it'll change a bit, but those are the statistics I know for sure.
And the question there is, now that it's becoming more music, or not more music, but like more people are in music are beginning to use the platform, at what point does the music industry step in and crush toes at Twitch? And
it's bound to happen. There's no question.
Well, you saw DJ Air said it. He said it weeks ago. It's like a shell game. When one does that, then you move to the next, and then when that, it's like how SoundCloud was. SoundCloud was like, "Yo, come bring your mixes here," and then SoundCloud was like, "Nope, can't put that up." So everyone went to Mixcloud. It's like,
yeah, there's I just looked it up. There's 15 million daily active users on Twitch currently.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is that when it comes to the live stream, we haven't had any issues, and correct me if I'm wrong for any DJs that have. We haven't had any issues with copyright, but when the video and the stream is archived, that music is then muted on the back end.
Right. You could get your live stream off. It's just you can't hold forward. Right. So
As a strike? Do they strike you if that happens, or is it like it's cool, we just mute it?
It's automatically they do it.
Yeah. But I don't think it's striked. Yeah.
They're in turn. They're in talks right now because obviously this has sped up the whole copyright issue with Twitch. So I know they're in talks right now with the major YouTube group to try to figure out a deal.
I mean, the main deal with anyone that owns copyright is they want to get paid. You know, they don't give a fuck what you're trying to do to pass time. You know what I'm saying? They don't give none of that matters. Their main concern is getting paid. Right. So there was talk a long time ago that we were all going to have to pay a fee to play music. And I don't know if anybody remembers this shit, but there was like a thing that went around, like a wave, that they were going to start charging us a fee, like a licensing fee to play music for people in every venue. And no one really...
they charge the venue.
The venues pay that.
Right.
Yeah, we pay it.
So,
that's the PROs, right, Evil?
What up?
That's from the PRO companies like BMI or ASCAP, correct? Or
exactly. Yep. Yeah, they just have like a per head, and then they multiply it by how many days you have DJs or how many days you're open, and send you a bill every year.
I mean, if live streaming was that big of a deal, you know, like I'm sure there would not be a problem for any one of us to pay that fee if we could afford that fee, right? Because you just charge it to the game. I mean, it's going to be a business expense, you know? If it gets crazy, then, you know, I guess you have to decide how bad you want to step down this lane, you know what I mean? And
well, it's funny to me how, like, you know, how, doing radio, like, early on, like, I started radio in 96, and I remember, you know, when the labels would send me music free.
Yeah.
And be like, here, play this. We want you to play this. And so, you know, it's funny how back then it was just like, they were like, please just help me get my record hot. Play it in the club,
because spins, because like, they got paid for the spins.
Now, if you want to play my record in the club, you got to pay us.
Right. But there was also there was no other outlets. There was no, you know, it was no mass online stuff to listen to music or promote music. Like, if you want your record played, go to the DJ. That's who's going to play the record back when all that. Same with all the early MTV stuff. If you watch those shows, there's so many huge songs that were used for free because they want the promo on the song. Yeah. Now it's not that, you know.
The shit is a numbers game, man. And, you know, if you fly under the radar, everything is all good until you don't. And that's what happened with SoundCloud and every other platform moving forward. They were under the radar. Then somebody said, yo, there's a lot of movement going on here. They get on them. They either press on them or they offer them loot or money to do the thing. And you being the cat that owns that company says, all right, we either take the offer or we lose our shit. Mixcloud is the only company somehow that figured out that they allow you this streaming thing, and now they offer that Mixcloud Select thing where, you know, if you subscribe to each person's channel, cats get paid. I don't know anyone that makes money personally off that unless you're just playing a bunch of music that doesn't require people getting paid for it, you know, and then that money eventually gets to you, but you know.
Yeah.
It's just all numbers, man.
Yeah. I've been hearing about some and Sinatra, let me know if you've heard anything in Brooklyn, but like I know Miami's had these like underground parties, like these underground raves. I've heard of some like speakeasy, like underground things going on.
I saw a couple of weeks ago they had somebody got busted for having some underground party. I don't know exactly where it was, but I definitely know that it exists, and I guess that those kind of things are going to exist. It's just that, are you crazy enough to go to one?
I mean, this shit was just on the news here that, like, the house up in the hills, there's a huge party house that they've been using up in the hills. So, I mean,
I will say one thing, though, and I've been seeing this. I got connected with this company last week. I talked about it on a previous webinar. But there's, like, companies popping up and actually creating like in really incredible spaces for people to come and live stream at. So like one, there's like a house set up in the hills. There's like another setup somewhere in LA where it's like the backdrops are like incredible. So it's like, I just feel like as we progress into this, the location and the setting of your live stream, like you could really make it a thing, you know,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's like an hour or it's hour and a half and you get some celebrity homies to pop in, or, you know what I'm saying? I just think it's like we saw with headliners, like they made it a collaborative effort and got the viewership that they needed. So I just think that, like, especially open format DJs, if you're not an artist, you really gotta like make it an event at this point, you know, the whole DJing.
Like, I feel like that. Yeah, but it's been like, it was kind of like that leading up to everything, because if you just think like a lot of DJs that we know, if you have a connection to an artist, all of a sudden you went from here to here. If you don't have no connection to no artist, then you know, you're still doing your thing. But the ones that have the connection to the artist are getting the artist following, and it's helping their career. So it's the same thing here. You have some rapper come in your live, or you have a celebrity come in your live, all of a sudden you have a little bit of clout, basically. And then from there, you know, you get more viewers, you get more people. Oh shit, so-and-so jumped in. Like, yeah, I get it. You know?
I mean, people don't care about the music. They care about being there and feeling like they have a connection to some other celebrity, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like how it was when you went to the party. You went to the party. Oh, somebody was there. So-and-so popped up. You know, oh, that party was lit.
Yeah. All right, here's a question from one of the panelists, or from one of the audience members. So I love how you organize your music. Wondering how other guys on here organize music in Serato or other DJ programs, to hear what the various techniques and approaches to it and what works for other DJs.
Genre? I organize by genre. Hip hop.
Not everybody at first.
House music. You know, I've seen guys do it by BPM, like 55 to 65, 65 to 70, 70, 75. I've seen people do it by era, 1980s, 1990s, you know, last 6 months. But it's just all depending on how your brain works.
Yo, I've seen Crooked's, DJ Crooked's, like his crates. I mean, those are the most intricate crate. It'll be like songs that have the word blue in them. And I mean, it's like insane, like crazy, you know?
Yeah, no, everybody has that crazy, wild OCD.
Mine are basic.
Yeah. I have a list that's so crazy the way I have like little asterisk marks, because I used to want in iTunes, in order to get the playlist to the top of the list, you had to make an asterisk mark. So before you know it, I had like star, star, star. Then it was star, 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 star. Then so I have all the.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, so that's how I want.
Mine's still like that. Mine's still like
I still have it like that too. So, but now I don't have to do it.
Wow, thank you guys. Thank you. I know how I'm going to organize my shit now.
You can use the asterisks, you can use the dashes, you can use all types of stuff.
Yeah, so like just to get, so I used to do that to get this stuff to the top of the list. And then nowadays I just kind of just do it or whatever, because I think if I was in alphabetical order, I would forget what I had just uploaded, like album-wise or whatever. So I had to like make it the more current so I would know in order. But then later on, I was like, oh, date added and all that. And am I the only guy that has sets from 2008 and 9? Like,
nah.
No, I still got them.
I got them.
So that's what another thing
actually.
I went through I have pretty much every lit night that I ever DJ'd. I put it on the spot, I labeled it. So I was thinking about when I went live, I was like, shit, I should do a live where I go back to like 2009 at this specific night, and I have
that would be dope.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And have the list of the songs of all that song from that era. So it's like cool. So I went through like, I did a 2009 night, I did a 2010, 11, but it's crazy. Then you get into the EDM and you see how, and I have the exact date I downloaded this song. So on top of like the list of 2008 till now, I have that all, and then I have it all the days. So I remember, I was like, oh, I remember being in my apartment that night. I downloaded 5 samples of this blah, 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 whatever it was. Or my Larry Levan night that I was so psyched to go to Gold Bar that Sunday and play all those records, but like in 2009. And I was like, it's cool, because that's what I learned when I was going through all my records and getting rid of shit and just organizing stuff over the past couple of months.
So that's really dope. Yeah, I think it's just about finding that niche within the live stream. You know, if like you're doing some really unique shit as a DJ right now, it could be really dope to just experiment with that.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. I've noticed people liked and they were into it that were there. They're like, oh, I remember that night. We was at the party that night. I remember that Sinatra, like, and then like playing like My Moon, My Man, or like songs that were lit in that whole time frame, and like it's just cool. Like to have those, I would never be able to remember it if I didn't have them like saved. So I'm like kind of glad I have them, and now I was trying to figure out how can I use them to make it interesting for kids that maybe weren't there. at that time or partying in that era. So
here's a question for the group, right? I feel like, and I've talked to a lot of homies, a lot of DJs about this. It's like, like Sinatra, you said early on, it's like you were kind of feeling stale. I feel like a lot of people were kind of feeling stale with the music that we've been playing and stuff like that. Where does everyone think this whole decade coming up, now that we're 2020 to 2030, what do you think is going to stick out music wise? Where's the sound going? What's everyone's prediction for this decade? And what do you guys think is going to be the vibe too when everyone comes out of this and is looking to rage their faces off?
Vibe for the decade, I feel like music cycles a lot faster than 10 years.
Yeah.
So we might be dealing with 2 or 3 market cycles, especially since things speed up even more. And then as far as and by the way, maybe rock and roll's coming back. It's been a while.
That's my guess too.
So, and
I'd love to see rock and roll come back.
I think so.
As far as what people are going to do once they go out, I think there's just too many variables right now. One of the questions was, what are you going to do to pivot if you don't think that this model, the way you've lived it, is going to continue? The thing is that there's too many, in my opinion, there's too many variables for the future right now. 50% opening capacity. Clubs will be, maybe there's laws where clubs cannot be more than 250 people moving forward. There's too many variables to figure out what I want to do, and even if I want to stay in the space, right? Like, to me, live streaming is kind of weak. I need my drug. I need my live performance drug. Like, the reason why I got into this is validation. When I do well in front of people, I feel fulfilled. That's my shit. And doing it here in my living room, I'm like, it's almost like, being a boxer in shadow boxing. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but when am I going to fight for real? Like, for me, it's like just building up to the fight the whole time. To me, that's not fun. And I'm a prize fighter. So I don't know. To present a pessimistic view, I don't think we go back to normal. I don't think that their rates are going to be the same for a long time. Hopefully the next market cycles and music cycles help boost clubs back up, maybe in 4 or 5 years, and there can be a new wave. But I think we're pretty much fucked for a long time.
And the music also, like, right now, where are you going to make music for clubs? You're going to make music for, like, if you can't turn up to a song in a club, people, it just don't hit right. It's not the same effect. So I feel like a lot of music that's going to be made, like I see, like, some of my friends who made music or put songs out, they made music for today. They made songs about what's happening today. I kind of feel that a lot better than I feel something that someone's trying to tell me to do something I can't do. Like, I can't be in a club at a table.
Very true.
Yeah.
So, like, the music, I think right now, this is good for, like, getting rid of the bullshit, because I feel like a lot of the artists that try to just jump on a wave to try to get $1, it's a lot harder for them right now. And it's kind of it's going to eliminate them. It's the same, like, for a DJ also. You could be lit, you could try to DJ, but you're not going to go nowhere to a club and offer $50 and bring 10 of your friends. That's not happening. So you go on your stream. If you have people that are going to go on your page because you're an influencer on Instagram, God bless you. You're going to have your people that follow you. So build your career off that. But just the people that just jumped in the water, that don't know how to swim, they're going to be, what do they call that? Like, they're just going to wheeze them out. What's the word?
Yeah,
Wheeze them out?
Weed them out.
They're going to weave them out. So boom, it's going to be lit. So, like, those people are going to be gone. And then the people that really are really passionate about their art and passionate about making music, those people are going to thrive, because that's what's going to go back to the original. There was shit that it took you so much work to get a deal. It didn't just go because you had a hot song that got lit on social media. You had to be a real artist. You had to have a story. You had to have that, more than just the top layer, So I feel like that's going to bring a lot of good music coming in the next 10 years.
So, Graham, what do you think, brother?
I mean, I'll just say this. Nobody knows what it's going to look like when the doors finally open. But if you're a versatile DJ, which everybody here is and many of our peers, that's not going to be a sweat. We go in, throw something. It doesn't work. We can pivot quick. That's the benefit of having a skill set and a vast knowledge of music and an appetite for all new music coming out and being able to find where that works in. So I'm not really even tripping. Open the doors and we'll figure it out, just like we always have for decades now.
Just to go to on your point, it's harder to DJ for 25 people than to DJ for 25,000 people.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can do that, you're good money. They're going to hire kids that can't hold the 25 people in the room. They're going to have to call the guys that know how to keep those people there. They might not be able to throw the big dollars the way they did or take you here and go there, but, like, if they want to keep those people in the room and buying drinks, it's going to have to be somebody with experience to keep those people there. If they really
half the job is psychology, you know. Half the job is
More than half.
knowing how to control the crowd, and it's not like you could give any kid all the hot songs, right? But the trick is not what you're playing; it's when you play it to generate the biggest reaction. That's the job. So
yeah, and I mean, you can't learn that without years of experience. There's no question about that, man. It's like,
right.
You know, when we look back, and a lot of us have probably 20 years under our belt of just nightclub experience, you know, if I break my shit up into 5-year spans, I've only learned more and gotten better and read crowds better through traveling the world and playing for people and trial and error and seeing what works. If I go back and put myself in my first 5 years, there's no way, you know what I mean? Like, I've learned so much more since then. So yeah, cool. I'll give you all the music I have and give you the computer. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to figure out what to do once you've burnt through your hot 30 minutes, you know what I mean? So,
the job is just making informed decisions. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really tripping. Open the doors. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone's business plan, I think, is going to change a little bit for sure. But, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing. Maybe we've all been fortunate enough to, like, walk this walk that we've been doing for a decade, and some of us have been doing it for more, you know. But by no means is this going to stop me from moving forward. I mean, I got into this because I love this shit. I'm going to find a way to keep it moving, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think you know, once we do get back, I mean, it could be like New Year's every night. Hopefully, we'll see. You know,
I'm optimistic. I agree with Anthony. I think
it could be there for us. You know.
Yeah, I think you know. I think I don't think anything's going to be normal until there is a vaccine. Hoping there is one. I mean, there's a possibility there couldn't be one, but I have a feeling that once there is one, everything will go. I'm pretty optimistic that things will get back to, I would say, at least 90% the way they were.
I mean, just looking at this past weekend, you know, we are older. We're a little bit more responsible. We care. The 21-year-old does not care. They're going out. They're still partying. Nothing changed, you know? It's like,
I mean, I saw stories from Scottsdale. Oh, my God. I mean, it was
for real.
I know people going to Scottsdale this weekend. Like,
my friend
just to party. Yeah,
from
totally.
Miami to Scottsdale to hang out over the weekend.
Do we know?
I mean, Scottsdale, though, so I'm not mad at that.
Any DJs that DJ those parties? What are they saying?
They're scared, man.
Scottsdale's really good.
I'm serious.
We should figure it out. We should figure out who's DJing and ask them.
Well, it's funny because, you know,
talk to
before
DJ
all
R.
this,
He's out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go talk to Jay. Go talk to Ben. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
It's funny because before this, people in Scottsdale were like, yeah, I can't wait to go party in Miami. And literally, people in Miami were going to Scottsdale to party this weekend.
And I saw a tweet. Somebody said, "Dear LA people, go back home. Love Arizona."
Oh, that was Ben. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
We got Sinatra. We got nothing out here right now, bro. Let me tell you, we have nothing.
There's something. We're just not invited to it. I'm telling you, there's definitely parties. We're just. I'm cool, even if I was invited to
parties. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing.
I'm good.
You know, like.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to do. Don't get it wrong. Like, even with all the stuff that we've been doing, there's nothing to do. But you know, I'll tell you what, I'm not mad at the weather, man. It makes it a lot easier to just go take a walk. And I'm tired of walking around the block, but still, like, my mom said it was like rainy, it was cold, it was humid.
And now we're finally getting great weather. Like the last week, it's been amazing. I got the garden popping, tomato plants popping.
Yeah,
that's old school Italian. I got to respect. My dad used to do that. My dad
sounds awesome.
That's old school, bro.
I got a bike, and I started riding my bike around my neighborhood.
That's lit. Yeah, I want to get a bike too, but then I looked at bikes. They're like $3,000. I said, "What kind of bikes are $3,000?"
You need that good, like, $150 fixed gear bike.
And they really up the price on bikes right now, huh?
Yo, they up the price on anything.
True.
Yeah.
Everything is more expensive now.
But guys, that's all the time we got. But I just want to again thank you guys so much for being on this. Jam Compass will be done by mid-January. It's going to be invite only, so obviously all the homies will be on there. Hopefully We could all find some opportunities on the app to make some dope records and find opportunities in whatever we want to do with the music space. But again, thank you guys for being on, and let's hope that every night is New Year's Eve once this shit gets past. We get past this shit.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitch.
Hell
Follow
yeah.
me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch.
Hey, y'all be safe for real though.
Follow everyone on Twitter.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
Yo,
That was dope.
yo, be safe, fellas. Be safe, yo.
All right.
Later, guys.
See y'all later.
All right.